welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So, this week, we're zeroing in on something pretty significant happening over in the UK.
Uh-huh. The 80th anniversary of VE Day, Victory in Europe Day.
Exactly. The commemorations are actually taking place right now, kicking off May 5th and running through to the 8th, 2025.
80 years. It's quite something. 80 years since the end of World War II in Europe, a really pivotal moment in history.
Absolutely pivotal.
Yeah.
And it's a key time, isn't it, to honor that generation, the greatest generation, and think about, well, everything they went through,
Yeah.
the sacrifices.
Immense sacrifices, yeah.
So, to get a handle on how the UK is marking this, we've dug into a news report detailing all the national events.
Right. A good overview of what's planned.
Yeah. And our mission, really, is to pull out the key elements, understand why this anniversary matters so much, and maybe ponder why it still resonates, today.
Sounds good. Where should we start? The royal family seems pretty central to it all.
They do. The report mentions King Charles and Queen Camilla leading the main national tribute on May 5th. That was at the Queen Victoria Memorial.
And they weren't alone, were they? The Prince and Princess of Wales were there.
And their children, too.
Yeah.
Which I think really sends a message, doesn't it?
Yeah, like continuity, passing
Yeah.
on the memory through the generations.
Exactly. That visual continuity. The ceremony itself sounded quite grand, a military procession along the mall.
Uh-huh.
The Red Arrows doing their fly past, which is always, well, impressive.
Always a crowd pleaser. And significant.
And Timothy Spall reading Churchill's victory speech from 1945. Imagine hearing that read out.
Wow. Yeah, that's a direct, powerful link back to the actual moment of victory. Really anchors it.
It does, but it wasn't just the big public ceremony.
No, the report also mentioned a Buckingham Palace tea party.
Right, for WWII veterans and people from the wartime generation. What do you make of that?
Well, it feels personal. A way to connect with the individuals, the human stories behind the massive historical event, not just the abstract concept of victory.
That's a good point. It makes it real. And the royals are involved beyond London, too, aren't they?
Yes, Princess Anne and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester were in Denmark for commemorations. Others were involved elsewhere, too, although the report didn't specify exactly where.
So it underlines that this was a shared victory, an international effort, and remembrance.
Definitely. But it's not just about the royals, is it? The report stressed how widespread the commemorations are.
Oh, absolutely. Nationwide involvement, things like street parties, local concerts, public gatherings all across the UK. It sounds very community-focused.
That community spirit, perhaps echoing the wartime spirit in a way.
Maybe so. And in London specifically, there are other notable things happening.
Like the Tower of London poppies.
Yeah, a new ceramic poppy display. Reminds you of that incredible installation from a few years back, doesn't it?
It does. Very evocative. And Westminster Abbey.
A service of Thanksgiving there on May 8th, the actual VE Day, and the national 2-minute silence.
Right. At midday on the 8th, a moment for everyone, everywhere in the country, to pause and remember those who died. That feels crucial.
It really does. And the Royal British Legion is holding their service, too.
At the National Memorial Arboretum, bringing together veterans, families, the public, another really important focal point for remembrance.
So when you pull all these different threads together, the royal events, the community parties, the solemn services, what are the big themes that emerge?
Well, remembrance is obviously front and center. Honoring the sacrifices made, that's inescapable.
Of course.
But it's also about celebrating peace, celebrating the end of the war in Europe and perhaps the unity that came out of it.
So it's looking back, but also acknowledging the positive outcome, the peace.
Precisely, and reflecting on the values demonstrated by that generation, courage, resilience, solidarity.
Right. Qualities that are still held up as important.
Definitely. And there's a sense of reaffirming the UK's commitment to freedom, the very thing they fought for. These events happening all week, they're designed to keep that legacy alive, engage people.
Ensure the memory endures.
Yeah.
Okay, so summing up then, VE Day 80 in the UK. It's clearly a major national moment. You've got the royal family playing a key symbolic role, but also this huge grassroots community participation.
A real blend.
And the focus is really threefold. Remembering the immense sacrifices, celebrating the peace achieved, and reflecting on those enduring values of the wartime generation.
That seems to capture it well. It connects the history to the present-day values.
It does. And exploring these VE Day 80 commemorations kind of leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? When you look at this scale, this type of national remembrance, what does it tell us about how we as societies choose to remember pivotal historical moments? And maybe more importantly, what role do these collected memories actually play in shaping who we are now and where we might be heading.
That's a deep one. How memory shapes the present and future. Definitely food for thought.
It certainly is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.